The eNCA of South Africa in the Western Cape has criticised the Golden Arrows bus company. It says the company forces workers to defy the lockdown rules declared by the President and demands the immediate halting of operations. I'm joined by Bronwen Dyke from the bus operator to clarify why its buses are still operational. But let me start off with this first, Bronwen. eNCA is saying that you are effectively murdering your workers. What's your response?
I think we need to clarify that we have since met with eNCA and had a very, very positive meeting yesterday. But in terms of our services, we have been authorized by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition to provide an essential service. You may even have heard our President saying that bus drivers are essential workers. And to that extent, the Western Cape Provincial Department of Transport has instructed us to operate during the lockdown period. And in fact, the MEC has now asked us to operate additional trips due to the demand. So beyond our contractual responsibilities, we also have an ethical responsibility, because without us, thousands of nurses and other essential workers just can't get to work. They would be stranded. We're getting hundreds of queries daily asking us to add more services. So we really have an ethical responsibility to the people of Cape Town to operate.
We'll talk about that more, but let's just go back to the unions. They were also concerned about you forcing staff to work and also forcing people to take leave over this period. What sort of compromise have you come to, if you've had to come up with one at all?
So obviously our main interest is to, first of all, be fair to our workers, to meet our contractual obligations, and this is unprecedented. We've never had to deal with something like this before. So what we did was try to do it as fairly as possible by placing staff members who have a lot of accumulated annual leave on leave, and then trying to roster the rest of the drivers and other staff members on shorter shifts so that everybody gets paid. And then obviously going the UIF route with anybody who doesn't get rostered to work. All of this is completely in line with what the government has instructed companies to do, and also in line with our bargaining council agreement.
What sort of figures are we looking at here? How many people are affected by this?
So Golden Arrow has about 2,800 staff members working across the entire company. So it's not just bus drivers who work. We have engineering staff, admin staff. There's a lot of people that have to work in order to make the operation run. So at the moment, we're running about a quarter of our services, and obviously trying to bring in as many drivers as possible and just reducing the shift time by about a third.
Obviously, there's a lot of concern about how people are seated on buses like this and the sort of safety issues surrounding this. How are you dealing with that?
So we have heeded the minister's call to make sure that there is social distancing on our bus. We do not exceed more than 50% of seated capacity. So buses have a seated and standing capacity. We're only going on seated capacity. There have since been amendments to this, but we're still sticking to the 50%. I think it's also important to let everybody know that we are using a specialized surface cleaner which kills germs and bacteria and works for 24 hours, but we're using it throughout the day on our buses. And in terms of our drivers are in an enclosed cabin, and they've all been issued with gloves, masks, and hand sanitizer. So we're doing our bit to make sure that if you travel on a Golden Arrow bus, you are safe. And we just ask our passengers also to obviously observe the hygiene protocols that government has suggested.
From Golden Arrow Bus Services, Bronwen Dyke, thank you.